Yes, I will just record your. Meditation have not been great. You wrote, I'm still falling asleep sometime. Need to try to open eye meditation when awake. I have small pockets of awareness interspersed between longer periods of unawareness and unregulated thought. I'm still doing the practice. Yes, yes. So you have already answered. I have small pockets of awareness interspersed between the longer periods of unawareness and unregulated thought. So, what are those unregulated thoughts you noted down for about a week? Write to me also. These are repeated thoughts. But why they are repeated thoughts? Thought means we will understand in detail, but we are understanding that thought is equal to object plus object of thought plus consciousness. You cannot have unregulated thought, any thought without an object. That object may be anxiety, that object may be habit, that object may be any food, that object may be any person. So, what I said, thought is equal to object plus thought of an object plus consciousness. Three factors are there. So, that object creates a thought of an object in the mind, and that is what we say, I am unaware. I hear from the medical science, so I make it very rational. Can you have any thought without an object? Think of it. Give me any thought without an object.
Okay.
So it means I should recognize what is the object, and then I find what is thought of an object plus consciousness. So that object associated with some feeling, some emotion, some past impressions takes your mind away. 10 minutes of meditation when there is, you just let the object go, the thought also goes away, and you continue to be in the state of awareness. Like you are listening to me, I am talking to you. There might be a possibility that the thoughts are present in the mind, but you take it, okay, it has come, it has gone, so let me pay attention here. The thoughts are also present while I am talking to you. You are listening to me. So that is why I always stress to reach to that state of awakening and realizing the real self. It is extremely important to reason, to question, to do the self inquiry, to find out what is the cause and effect. You are driven by, say, you are attached to the smartphone, a particular model, and you have a lower model. So every time you pick up the phone, there is a thought of the new model. There is an object. So I have to find it out. Self knowledge is the way to be permanent happiness. I do not know who I am, but I continue to declare false I is the real I. What is the false I? This object plus thought of an object plus consciousness. Until I recognize who's the real I, so I have to recognize what is the real I. What the recognition takes? The moment I came on the session, you recognize this weird guy. So the mind is still not going, oh, I have to find that permanent happiness. Can this thought with an object can take me there? No. So I'll leave it. You go to the store, you want to buy the bread, you don't land up buying the fruit. But why you land up buying the fruit? You are unaware. You don't recognize where you are going. I'm just giving a one part of it. Before the human birth comes to an end, study Eastern wisdom to know the real self. There is another deeper problem. Because I don't know who I am, yet I declare the false I as the real I. Why I declare the false I as the real I? We pay too much attention to those thoughts with an object. So this week you have to just every time you practice meditation, and after the meditation sit for another 15 minutes. Ask your mind what happened in meditation when I followed the first step. Was there any thought, an object? No. Then I followed the second step. Was there any object or thought of an object? Yes, noted them. Third, yes, what are the other thoughts? So after every meditation practice just for half an hour is enough. But contemplate another half an hour. What happened? Ask the question, why? Find the cause and effect. Write it down. So what is going to happen after a week? You will come to know the repeated thought pattern and the repeated object. And there you will find the answer. Are you getting it? So normally people practice meditation and they say we will succeed. That is not the way to succeed in meditation. So the introduction to the text, it is known as the Tattva Bodha. Tattva Bodha. So we should understand this terminology. What is Tattva? What is Bodha? Then what is Tattva Bodha? What is the self? What is the ultimate reality? What is the means of knowledge? And what is freedom? What is awakening? That is what is all about this text. What exactly is the Tattva? We use the word Tattva. You are kind to me, that is what I said. So the kindness is Tattva. Wholeness is the Tattva. So the Tattva literally means thatness, suchness. What is suchness? This is the body that exists. Existence is the Tattva. Without the existence, the body cannot exist. So that is the meaning of the Tattva. Bodha. So we have different terms. One is the Bodha, second is the Buddhu, and third is the Buddha. You already know about the Buddha. So name of the Buddha was Siddhartha, but he was known as the Buddha. Buddha means awakened. Buddhu means foolishness. And Bodha means knowledge, understanding, awareness. So the name of the book is Tattva means the real self, or simply you say self. Bodha means you can say awareness or knowledge. So Tattva Bodha means self-knowledge. That is the meaning. So every word in Sanskrit is a spiritual language. So every word chosen correctly, crafted carefully. So once we go into the etymology of every word in Eastern wisdom, it becomes very easy for us to understand this entire journey of the Eastern wisdom. So the tattva means, I told you, suchness, thatness. What is thatness? What is I-ness behind this I which I say? That I-ness is the real self. To give you a visual picture, you will be able to understand. There are hundreds of waves. What is the waveness? Is the water. Can you have any wave without water? No. Can I have the body and the mind without the existence? No. That is the real self. We are going little deeper. Wave. Wave exists because of water. Same way this body and the mind intellect exist because of their existence. Wave exists because of water, body exists because. We are searching that existence, and that existence is known as the real self. In Sanskrit, the real self is known as Atman, Atma. Literal translation is wrong. Literal translation of Atma is the soul. No, we are not going there. Atman. Atman means I am. I am means that entity which you cannot get rid of. What do you mean by that? Simple meaning, your childhood body died. Now it no longer exists. When you were child, I was there. Adolescence, I was there. Now I is still there. That I continued through your childhood, through adolescence, through an infant. But the infant died, childhood died, you cannot retrieve it. So what changes, what takes birth, what dies is not me. What is that is Atman, another word, Atman. Why we are talking about this? Meditation is searching that real self. We have, that is, so we have to follow a different approach. So the nature that, then we have how to find that real self by the means of the knowledge. What is that knowledge? That knowledge is Eastern wisdom. What is Eastern wisdom? It is an instrument of knowledge by which we recognize, realize, and experience real self. What is that instrument of knowledge by which we know the natural phenomena, physics? What is that instrument of knowledge by which we understand the element, compound, mixture, their interaction, chemistry? So Eastern wisdom, again I am repeating, is an instrument of knowledge by which we recognize, realize, experience what is the real self, what is the Tattva. There are many stages of it. We understand the principles, we do a lot of steps. That is the way of physics and chemistry. English professor doesn't know anything about the chemistry. And then he sees on a paper H2O. So what the professor of English will say, oh, it's a wrong English. Why you have added 2? Same way, that is why it demands we must understand these terms used in Eastern wisdom. Otherwise, it will cause lot of confusion. CO2. You have written a wrong English from the point of view of English grammar. But it is not right. I don't know the chemistry. So hence I cannot comprehend. So if I don't know these terms, the entire text gives you that terminology, that language by which we can study and understand each and every aspect of this journey of self-discovery, meditation, awakening, realization. We have a definition of awakening. We have a definition of nirvana, etc., etc. So this is an introductory guide to the journey of the Eastern wisdom. Any kind of, whether you understand, whether you want to follow the path of Buddhism, it doesn't make any difference. We have to understand these terms. So the Tattva Bodha, a gateway text. Ultimate beginners, Eastern wisdom. Tattva Bodha, the text. Written by a great master who lived only for 32 to 34 years. He has contributed more than 200 books only in the age of 34. He traveled across India. India is also a huge country. He taught millions of people in 7th century, or 7th or beginning of the 8th century. 8th century. He debated with great masters of the Buddha. His expression, his genius, it's a born genius. He was a born genius. But he could have failed in getting admission in Harvard because we talk of the subjective reality. Harvard, they only talk of the objective reality. And because they talk only, they are obsessed with objective reality to find the IQ. I'm making a statement with responsibility. If you Google out how many students admitted into the Harvard University committed suicide, we don't have any event of suicide in Eastern wisdom. Because you are focused on objective reality, you don't know who you are. So the Tattva Bodha, another meaning of this text means the knowledge of the absolute reality. At the same time, the moment you know the absolute reality, it stops suffering, all kinds of anxiety, duality, and they just leave you. They just leave your life. They never come. But why they leave? Because they drop the false I. The false I is known as anatman. The real self is known as atman. Just to give brief introduction, the false I is my online persona, my filtered selfies. I'm talking in your language. Genji. The character you play for others, even just your mood swing, your random thought, your mind challenges you in meditation, that is your false I. Don't worry about it. It does not exist. As long as I feel it exists, it will create the problem. But we will understand why it does not exist, why the Master says it does not exist. It is all the stuff that changes. False I keeps on changing. It is temporary. But I think what I am is temporary. That the word temporary never comes to my mind, and I think it is temporary. Fact is that it is temporary. So it is temporary, I get obsessed with the temporary, and then I have a problem, I have a series of the thoughts. I fail in meditation. No, you don't fail in, just continue. But at the moment you are in meditation, you recognize it as a false, it has no value. You recognize the water in the mirage has a false value. The blueness of the sky has a false value. Done, finished. So, yes, to reach to that state of awareness, we have to follow certain other principles. You look at the TV screen, just take an example of TV screen. Day before yesterday, you watched the horror movie. Does the TV screen appears horrific? You watch Titanic. Do you see that your TV screen become wet? You see the romantic movie, you are in that age. So does the TV starts doing romance with you? So that horror, that romance, that Titanic. But the screen does not change. That real self is like the screen. The false I is like that keeps on changing. We have horror, we have anxiety, we have stress, we have pleasure, and long list. False I is the movie playing in the world. The real self is unchanging screen. We have to reach to that state. That is a self-check. So once you reach to that self-check, okay, I have found an entity, a presence in me that never changes. It did not change since I wake up in the morning until I fall into the sleep. It did not change. But the other apparent self, the false I, keeps on changing. Since I wake up in the morning until I sleep, I had the moment of pleasure, pain, anxiety, duality, conflict, competition, jealousy, hatred. Everything changes. But one thing, that presence in me does not change. So you have a self here. You understand, that is what we want to discover, yes. So this text helps you to, it is a text that guides you to hack your consciousness. The consciousness that is unchanging. And on the surface it is changing. Waves are changing. Waves become storm. But the water, in a sense, do not change. Whether you have a storm or a flood, anywhere in the world, the very inherent nature does not change. So that inherent nature is the real self. So Tattva Bodha gives you that brief understanding terminology, and then from there we can move ahead step by step. And as we move step by step, so our meditation also moves from the deeper to the deeper level. So Tattva, you can say Tattva means it is a fundamental truth. Fundamental truth means what? It does not change. It does not change by location, by the time, by the space, by the change of the name and the form. It is the same real self in you, it is the same real self here. It is the same real self in the girls or mom or dad or anyone. It is all pervading. So Tattva Bodha, it means also the knowledge of that fundamental truth. Also that I am that fundamental truth, yes. What is it is called? It is called Atman. It is the individual real self. And the same individual real self same individual real self, in the cosmic level, it is known as the ultimate reality. The word is used as Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. We are trying to understand the foundation of this text. So we also hear there is another word, moksha, is used here in this text. Moksha literally means liberation. Liberation from what? Liberation from all the limitations. But why, what limitations? Limitations that causes me the stress, suffering, anxiety, dualism. So that is another name of awakening, awakening. So the Tattva Bodha text helps you to understand and recognize the problem. How? Because now I know that this is the false I, and false I, the movement of the false I limited me, and because of this limitation, I experience the anxiety and the reaction. That is why we are studying. So, by studying, we understand how to distinguish, how to separate from the false I from the real I. So, when I separate the false I from the real I have a clarity. Clarity means that I live into the higher awareness. When I live into the higher awareness, I recognize anxiety is creeping in, realizing. So that is how we recognize real self from the false. How? By applying the knowledge of this Eastern wisdom. What is Eastern wisdom? I've been repeating. It is an instrument of knowledge. I gave an example of physics and chemistry. And that helps me to reach to the highest state of meditation. In meditation, we awaken to our absolute reality. Suffering comes to an end. There is another way. If we analyze, the Eastern wisdom helps us to move from the suffering to happiness. That happiness is permanent. It is a power of knowledge. What is that power of knowledge? That is Bodha, Tattva Bodha. When we meet weekly, you don't repeat in mind, oh, this weird guy is his name, this weird guy is his name. No. That is just an awareness, and you are with me and I am with you. I can recall any time you named. You can recall any time my name. So it means that understanding, that knowledge is centered, and I am aware of it. That is what the Tattva Bodha is. So it means I am settled in that real self. When I am settled in the real self of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom, anything, any event takes place in the world outside, it remains outside. It remains untouched. The way in Titanic movie, the TV doesn't become wet, TV doesn't become horrific, TV doesn't become romantic, it remains untouched. We have to reach to that state. We have to recognize and realize that state. So the basic text gives you those terms of understanding, gives you the basic foundation that how it can be understood intellectually, and then how you can apply in your daily life to reach to that state of awakening. Last point, the Tattva Bodha text helps us to understand and apply how to move the mind within. So next time you are watching the TV, watch any movie, no problem. But maintain your awareness of the TV screen. Recognize nothing is happening on the TV screen. Whatever is happening in the movie. So why you to do that? If you are attached to watching any movies, you will drop the attachment. You will not be interested in that attachment. I used to watch all kinds of movies, and then now I sit, with my family. My mind goes back to the TV. Yeah, TV screen. Nothing is changing. So it reminds me I'm permanent. This is all a play and a movie. It becomes a play and a fun for me. I don't feel any sense of attachment to it. So people say you don't watch. Yes, I watch. There is no change that you do outside, but inner change is required. Inner change is the journey of the spirituality of the self-discovery. So let us start our practice today after the brief introduction of Tattva Bodha. Eyes are closed, gently place position and posture. Place. So now the place is an object. Understand clearly. We will try to address our problem. So the place gives you some sensation in relationship to the body. In relationship to the body, where the body touches the surface of your chair or couch or clothes. So contact gives you the sense of touch. So does the touch sensation of touch causes any problem? No, not at all. Don't feel that it is creating a problem. That is how we are aware of the place. That is how we are aware of the place. So this is causing the problem in your mind. That is what you have written, the position. Now the position of the body. If I say you are aware, means what? You feel, you know, you experience. That is not causing any problem. You experience the position. So sometimes what happens, the mind gets lost into these feelings, which our mind perceives as a problem in meditation. And the posture. Now see the place of the body. The place as such do not move. What may move? The body. How? By the mind. Why? Because it has some thought. What thought? Why you say the thought move? Because thought contains the object plus a thought of an object plus consciousness. That is what I started the today's talk, and I'm translating into practice. So the place, position, and Posture is done completely. Now being comfortable. So we will follow the same approach in being comfortable. Now you have to do 2 days practice more and more. We will see if it helps. If it doesn't help, no worries. I've told you that is the first step we are taking. So being comfortable, first we pick up the object. What is that object? Is the neck joint. So I say move the mind there. Where? On the neck joint. Then you know. You feel the neck joint, you know. You are aware of the neck joint. Yes, if it is clear, or the mind, any thought interrupts you in between. Yes, so you have to pay attention there. So again I say you know, you feel, you're aware of the neck joint. So when you know, feel and aware of the neck joint, what happens? You experience sensation, comfort and steadiness. If not, repeat. If not, repeat the same step. You look back at the neck joint. You feel, you know. So you experience the sensation. Why you feel the sensation? What's the reason? The reason being the mind comes very close to the neck joint. That is why you feel the sensation and steadiness and comfort. Just try this with the hip joint. So what you're trying, you're not making any effort. Casually, you are looking at the neck joint. What you are looking means the mind is looking. So when the mind is looking, how the mind looks, that means you know, you feel, you are aware of the hip joint. You start experiencing sensation, comfort and steadiness. Why we feel, why we experience sensation, comfort and steadiness? Because the mind goes very near to the object. If it doesn't go, then there will be a distraction. So mind goes very near to the object. But in that process, what happened? The mind changed the direction from outside to inside. So if that happens, it means we have done the practice correctly. Doing the practice rightly is more important than spending hours together. Now look at the entire body from top to the toes. I use the word you know, you feel, you experience. What sensation, comfort and steadiness. If you don't feel, no worries at all, repeat it. You return again. Your mind returns to the entire body, moving the entire body from from the top of the head to the toes. Just move it. Don't think that I will feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. You will feel it. That is natural. Oh, that is natural? Yes, that is natural. What is natural which you don't create? It is present. Oh, really? Yes. So we experience what we experience, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Another reason for distraction of the mind and you become unaware falling into sleep is that what we experience in the first two steps do not continue. So just recall place, position, posture, check and experience. Yes, it is intact. Second experience, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And now, mind is looking inside, check it. Mind is looking inside means it is aware or it knows the space within. Why it has already changed the direction. So now in that space, you find the thoughts are coming and going. No issue. Don't get disturbed. No issue at all. You just watch. Thought is coming to go. And thought has gone to return. Thought has gone to return. Does it not happen? Does it not happen on the highway? In both the lanes? Yes, it happens. Same way, the mind is exactly the highway. The thoughts are the traffic. They have come to go and they have gone to return. They have gone to return with the different colors and the shades. So we fail to separate the thoughts from the highway, which is the mind. We may fall into laziness or more distractions or wandering. So that point of understanding perhaps is absent. That is why we have that state. So now see, now we check again before we move to the next step. Where is that next step? That step is the mantra and the auspiciousness. What is that auspiciousness? We have already discussed last time in the mantra. So first you check. You still have or you continue with the experience of place, position, and the posture, sensation, comfort, and steadiness, and a kind of freedom. Why? Thoughts are the traffic, and highway is the mind. So if you feel that separation, that will take us to the next step of mantra. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. You virtually say in your mind, Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Why you say? Because the brain will create a neural path, and it can happen in a couple of weeks. Now we'll go to the meaning. When you create a neural path, you'll also know the meaning easily. May there be happiness for all. Meaning, let everyone be happy. Last time we are going to repeat the same thing. You can move the mind and the word outside saying the mantra. Oh, let everyone be happy. So happiness is everywhere. So now we reflect. Pay attention to the reflection. So if happiness is present in all the 8 billion people, you are reflecting. Reflecting means you are thinking. But you are thinking to find the objective reality. That is why this kind of a thinking is an aid to the meditation. So 8 billion people, yes, happiness is everywhere. So is your happiness different from my happiness? No, it is the same. Also, the happiness is pervading like the water behind the waves of 8 billion waves? Yes. And then you do nothing and you stay there. So when we do this entire mantra with the contemplation and reflection, when you are reflecting, means you are thinking inside, deep inside. Thinking deep inside, how can you fall into sleep? No way. It will happen within a couple of weeks. We have to be consistent. Second line of the mantra, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. First point. Second point is the meaning. So what is the second point meaning? May there be peace for all. May there be peace for all means for all 8 billion people, or 9 billion, whatever the population of the entire universe. So how it is possible? It is possible when that peace is independent of the body, mind, name, form, age, gender. Oh yes, how come? It is like a TV screen. You may watch the Cartoon Network or Titanic or etc., but that screen does not change. Oh, that screen is nothing but the peace, yes. So any other thought makes my mind run away? Oh, obviously, that thought contains an object which is temporary. And then you stay in that, you'll find Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be wholeness in all. May there be wholeness in all. May there be wholeness in all. Wholeness means completeness. When you are complete in itself, will you be seeking anything outside? No. But the mind returns with a thought. You need not to pay any attention. How many times you pay attention to the mall where hundreds of stores are there? You just pass through. You don't chase them. You don't chase any thought. Thought will come, okay, thank you very much. I am holy. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. We are laying a very strong foundation even for meditation. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. So in this, may there be auspiciousness for all. So we are entering into that state of the auspiciousness. Watching the Titanic movie, you are aware of that TV screen. You have already entered into the auspiciousness. You are just aware. After all, the movie is playing on the screen. That is the meaning, that you touched the auspiciousness in you. So what is that Titanic movie? Whatever the thoughts, feeling, emotions are coming and going, they are staying. No worries at all, let them come, let them go. You leave them on their own. May there be auspiciousness for all. May there be auspiciousness for all. Now, the next step, we do nothing, we just recognize what is happening. What is happening is the flow of the breath. We're not stopping anything, we just see the flow of the breath. What is the flow? Flow means the movement of the air in and out. Very good. When it goes in and out, we feel the sensation of the breath. You see, we are knowing, feeling. What we are knowing and feeling, we are aware of the breath. The breath is going in and out. We are feeling the sensation of the breath, though no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Any thought, feeling, emotion arise in the mind, you say to your mind, I'm aware of the flow of the breath. I am watching breath in and out. You say in your mind, I feel the sensation. That is all. The moment any thought comes and the next moment you say this in your mind, the mind will return to the breath. It will drop the thought. This week you are trying. I appreciate you that you raised those questions. You have to raise, you have to be open, frank, and candid. Oh, you need not to say anything. Anytime the thought comes, you start saying to yourself, and that is the moment you start saying to yourself, about the breath, what is going to happen? The mind gets engaged into the breath awareness and it will leave the thought that entered as an uninvited guest. So this step, the last step, you can extend for a little longer period. When you reach to this step, what you're not doing anything, but at the same time, even if there is no thought, you say in your mind, I am aware of the flow of the breath. It means the breath is moving in and out. It means I feel the sensation. And then stop. Continue. The moment any thought enters, you say the same thing. And let us see what happens this week. I will chant Om Shanti Shanti. You have to do it mentally with me. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.